again. Welcome.
Howdy, everybody.
Scrub Mode. It's good to be here. My name's Julio. Welcome to Scrub Mode, the podcast that sits at the intersection of gaming and monsters. I'm here with my two friends. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm John.
Yeah, it's John.
I'm Ryan. How you doing?
Yeah, it's great. Oh, man.
I've been thinking about
Welcome.
those first 20 seconds. I'm like, I wonder how many times can you count throughout the episodes? Have Julio started to do the opening, and then I've interjected right before he says the title of the show. I wonder if people are just I don't know the name of this show, but I keep watching it. It's they don't. It's I'm not gonna bother to read the title, but I get all my information audibly. And this one guy on his show keeps talking over the title, so.
But yeah, welcome to Scrub Mode, the podcast. I already said where it is, but we talk D&D, we talk gaming, we talk conspiracies, we talk cryptids, we talk Bigfoot and ghosts and stuff.
All the weird shit, all the weird shitology.
Weird
Remember,
shit
that implies that Bigfoot and all the other weird shit is different from cryptids.
I mean, it's not.
Depending on who you listen to, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
we did a story last year where Bigfoot was stealing people's fucking carburetors.
Yeah.
That's true. Who knows?
And was an alien.
I mean, he might step up to catalytic converters. What are we gonna do?
That's Mothman's territory.
Yeah, Mothman is the one stealing the catalytic converters.
I would love to see an image of that. To see Bigfoot leaning on the trunk of a Honda Civic, and then Mothman underneath trying to take the converter. And he's dude, chill, the cops are coming.
Chupacabra's in there going for the stereo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's chewing off the wires to steal your radio.
Yeah.
What's Nessie steal?
It's in the water, so it's probably just boat engines or something.
Maybe.
I was picturing a Nessie pulling itself onto land to jack your rims or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a large Nessie with a small tire jack.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, John?
Oh boy, we're about to hit another Monster Manual milestone. Today we're talking
Yippee!
alchemy once again. We're talking about the homunculus.
Oh man, I've always wanted to know
Wonderful.
about what homunculuses are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all I know about them is from Full Metal Alchemist. They're
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's
they're
that was a lot of-
creations, right? Like Frankenstein monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. It's complicated, but you got it. Ryan, you got any touchstones for homunculus? Obviously, Full Metal Alchemist, especially Brotherhood, is great.
Yeah, it was a major first step for some people who didn't grow up in the 70s, 80s, didn't play Dungeons and Dragons or read too much. That Full Metal Alchemist was just hey, there's these creatures that may or may not be human.
Yep.
They're shaped like them sometimes, but they're pretty effed up.
Yeah. So we're talking alchemy, so this is gonna be vague and not make a lot of sense. And because it's alchemy, you're just gonna have to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, alchemy has been kind of vague and doesn't make sense for a while.
I feel like every time we do an alchemy episode, I go a little bit crazy, and I at one point I have to turn to the microphone and be like, "Is this listenable? Does this make any sense?"
I mean, it's strange because it was pseudoscience before pseudoscience.
Yeah.
It was people took it 100% seriously. They thought it was science, right?
Yeah.
They thought it was science, but now we know it was a little pseudoscience.
Yeah.
Alchemy became chemistry. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
I know, right? Yeah, it did.
I mean, we can't deny what it's done for people's progression.
I mean, we had to start somewhere, I guess. We didn't have microscopes to see things the way we do now. So,
but I mean, the concepts in alchemy is just all I don't like seeing it from like our position, like I don't think that works that way, and it's just like trust us, it works this way.
Some of them were so close too. Like I think it was on the elemental episode where they were like, well, sometimes elements mix and make new elements, and they meant like fire and water.
Yeah.
Whereas now we know it's like, well, salt and chlorine makes table salt.
Yeah.
Like they were close.
They were a little bit there.
The vibes were right.
Yeah, exactly.
They were so close.
They were one blunt away from just how like it makes sense now.
Yeah. All right, so homunculus. Let's do the history side first. So
yeah,
during medieval and early modern times, it was thought that a homunculus was, as we stated, an artificially created human-like being.
Mm.
All right, you make them through alchemy, and depending on who you talk to, either this is great because you're learning how to create stuff just like God created stuff, or you're doing a really bad heresy because you're learning how to create stuff just like God created stuff.
Right. It was against the rules, right?
Yeah.
In other words, hey, you're closer to God, that's great. Or, hey, you're closer to God, you gotta die.
Yeah. You've done a hubris, or you have learned about the beauty of the natural world that God built for us.
Yeah.
And that's a no-no.
Yeah. So, the first guy to mention, use the actual term homunculus was, I guess, friend of the podcast, Paracelsus, who, for you Full Metal Alchemist heads, his real name was von Hohenheim.
Oh.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it all makes sense now.
It all makes sense. In his 1537 book, De Natura Rerum, does somebody want to read put the sauce on his homunculus recipe?
Sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
What's the angle? What's like the voice that he's projecting? Yeah.
I mean, it's a recipe. I don't know.
It's just a recipe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's a list of ingredients.
Yeah, it's
like the first 3 words. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, this is gonna get spicy. All right, this is gonna be.
Here, let me drop you the muffin recipe for this.
You want to read it, Ryan? Go.
If you want to cook your own little guy,
Yeah,
this is how you do it through alchemy.
I mean, some of you might not be able to do it, and some of you might go to the illegal means to do it. But let me tell you, it's probably not gonna work. Here we go.
Yeah.
To create a homunculus, first you need that the sperm of a man be putrefied by itself in a sealed cucurbit.
It's Latin for gourd, it's like a pumpkin, or a zucchini.
For 40 days, with the highest degree of putrefaction in a horse's womb, or at least so long that it comes to life and moves itself and stirs, which is easily observed. After this time, it will look somewhat like a man, but transparent, without a body. If, after this, it be fed wisely with the arcanum of human blood, and be nourished for up to 40 weeks, and be kept in the even heat of the horse's womb, a living human child grows therefrom, with all its members like another child, which is born of a woman, but much smaller.
Thoughts?
Nobody actually did this, right?
Oh, I'm sure so.
I'm sure people have. I'm sure people have tried.
Yeah,
but I'm more. Is the horse alive?
So I'm glad you mentioned that because apparently horse's womb is shorthand for steaming hot pile of horse poop.
Oh, okay.
So
God, not a womb.
So you don't actually put it in a
right. So it's gross, but not as gross as you think it is. So the shorthand here is
horse poop.
I really hope nobody's mom is listening to me. Take some cum, put it in a pumpkin, put that pumpkin in a big pile of warm horse shit. Right. Keep that horse shit pile warm for 40 days. Feed it blood. You got a little guy.
Well, that seems more doable than putting it in the horse's actual womb.
I mean, like, at least with, like, a horse, you're just like, I'm just gonna throw it in there, see what happens, and then, like, if nothing comes out, or if the horse horrifically dies from some sort of infection, we know it's wrong.
This might be our worst, grossest episode.
But like in this case, it's just all like, well, you're gonna bust into this pumpkin.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna let it sit out in the morning sun for like a long time while it's sitting on top of this fecal matter that we've taken from a horse.
It's gotta be buried in it.
It's gotta be buried in a pile of horse.
Buried in a lot of fecal matter from this horse.
And then you gotta drip blood on it.
And then you gotta then you gotta scoop open the top.
Well, you open it, and then it should be a little transparent guy who's moving around. And you're like, this dude needs blood.
It should be a weird translucent fetus man. That's swimming in gross, fermented pumpkin skin and, old semen.
when I read shit like this and realize that this was almost exactly 500 years ago, I'm like, we've actually come pretty far in 500 years.
Honestly, you have to give it up for the human race. We moved on pretty quick. While evolution takes millions of years to grow like an extra finger, we immediately were just like, you know what, thinking about it, I don't think busting in a pumpkin and then letting it sit inside horse feces is going to do much to make a human.
Yeah.
I don't know. Paracelsus was just all like, yo, you'll eventually see an invisible small human crawl around in there. And then you're just going to have to drip blood on it. Just trust me on this one. It'll grow into a person. It's like, I don't know.
It's funny because it feels like we have somehow come back around to AI recipes before 500 years before AI recipes.
So true.
It reminds me of the
you need a cup of sugar,
Pan's
a
Labyrinth.
liter of milk, and then kill yourself.
And then a bunch of glue.
And glue.
Reminds me of the Pan's Labyrinth when she had the the little root child. What are those called?
The mandrake. That's going to come up.
Yeah,
the mandrake. Yeah, when she was feeding the mandrake blood and
that's what milk. You got to do.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of that.
You take it out, it screams, it bursts your eardrums and kills you, or you survive and then you give it little bits of blood.
Let me jump to that part right now because you brought it up, Julio. But there's a French magician by the name of Jean-Baptiste Pitois.
Oh, I love that artist. He's so good on the piano.
Jean-Baptiste. He's great.
He didn't know how to make a homunculus, but he was like, hold up. I'll tell you how to make a mandrake or mandragora. Just as powerful as a homunculus.
Oh, sick.
Just as powerful as the kind praised by Paracelsus.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. I really wasn't on board, ejaculating into...
Great, because I do have another recipe for you, if you want it.
Oh, wonderful.
You want to take this one, Julio?
Sure, yeah, I'll do
it. Maybe this one will be better.
Okay.
It's better.
Okay.
It's less horny, at least.
Oh, sick.
Okay, cool. Then find a root of the plant called Byrione.
Yeah.
Take it out of the ground on a Monday, the day of the moon, a little time after the vernal equinox. Cut off the ends of the root and bury it at night in some country churchyard in a dead man's grave. For 30 days, water it with cow's milk, in which 3 bats have been drowned. When the 31st day arrives, take out the root in the middle of the night and dry it in an oven heated with branches of verbena. Then wrap it up in a piece of dead man's winding sheet and carry it with you everywhere.
Okay.
That's okay.
Very cool. It was very cool up to drowning 3 bats in a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least this one is ejaculate free.
Yeah, this one's cum free. We're good.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with the drowning the 3 bats in the milk part because 1, why hurt the little fellas? And 2, how the hell am I going to get my hand on bats?
Yeah, you got to get bats, man.
I don't know how a person in the 17th century would catch bats. There's got to be a way, though.
Cave with a net.
Sure. I'm sure if you really
yeah, net technology's old.
Yeah, net technology is pretty old, but I'm just
they got ways to catch bats.
Because the way that I am now in current century, I feel like I would have been the same in 13th century. Where it's
I think
I'm a little too lazy to go out to get a cave to grab a bat.
I think that's a good point that we don't talk about often enough. Is like we have the same brains that ancient and medieval people did. You know what I mean? Like we have more accumulated knowledge, but our brains aren't any better.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like we're we're creatures of habit, and if our habit has been like, well, honey, I understand that I need to chop those logs, but I'm kind of lazy and tired right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe I'll do it on a Tuesday, right? And it's like, I can't do it on a Sunday because, church and day of
God will
rest,
kill you.
so,
It's the day of rest.
Like, I can't do that. Saturday, we got that thing with the Johnsons that we have to walk 30 miles to meet, so, like...
To your nearest neighbor, yeah.
Exactly. So it's just, it's different for us. We're more convenient, but, that's pretty much the distance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, my anxiety, if I was a medieval person, my anxiety would feel like it was right way more often.
Oh, for sure. I don't think it... nothing against the Templars, but I don't think a crusade, like, the third time is gonna work.
Oh my god. What about 13 of them? Maybe I have anxiety because my ancestors had to be hyper vigilant about running away from, like, the Cossacks or the Teutonic Knights or... Yeah.
A long time. It's really, like, just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to fun shit. Homunculi.
Hey, what up?
Yeah.
So you might be asking yourself, why would you want to go through all this stuff? What's the point?
To have a little slave, I imagine.
Yeah, you got it exactly.
Like a little slave that, like, you don't have to feel too bad about.
Yeah, because they don't have a soul. God didn't give them a soul.
You made them.
We made
them.
So.
No soul for you.
Well, you don't have the power to give a soul.
That's true.
God.
I can only create bodies. I am not God.
Also, in some traditions, a fully grown homunculus, so like we're talking Magikarp stuff or like Dragonite stuff, you really got to raise them, you got to level them up.
Yeah. For them to like truly reach that Gyarados stage where it's just like,
So if you can somehow raise your homunculus so it's fully grown, it becomes greatly skilled in quote-unquote art.
Oh.
And gains the ability to create giants, dwarves, and other marvels.
Whoa.
Okay.
Quote, through art they are born, and therefore art is embodied and inborn in them, and they need to learn it from no one.
Okay.
So you can just have a little, like, art guy.
Nice.
Or a little pet philosopher.
Little artist.
I think about, like, the original homunculus in the jar in Full Metal Alchemist. I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler.
Don't worry. Everyone's seen it.
Okay. It is spoiler on, like, a 20-year-old anime, I guess, at this point.
Everyone's seen it at this point. We don't have to worry about it.
But you know what I'm talking about. Like, the little guy in the jar who's whispering secrets to Van Hohenheim and brought about the end of that empire.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, psst. You should totally fuck everything up for you.
Just sacrifice everyone. It'll be dope.
You're gonna love this big door. I guarantee it.
I guess that's a good pivot point. So you might think, based on Full Metal Alchemist, that the Islamic characters do not use alchemy because it is against God, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe in the real world, no homunculus in like Islamic culture, but that is not true.
Wrong.
They have them.
Yeah, so they have. There is a mythical alchemist named Jabir ibn Hayyan who's said to have created several books on everything from philosophy to cartography to alchemy. He was a big alchemist, and a lot of his works dealt specifically with Takween, which is essentially a homunculus. It's the creation of life from something lifeless.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sick.
This is particularly different from the golems, right?
So I think you're in the same ballpark, right? Because we're talking about, in both cases, you are talking about inanimate objects that you are bringing life to, and then you can command.
Right.
Yeah, and in some traditions, especially in like later D&D, they're both made out of clay. So I think there's a lot of like, I don't think you're wrong to make a connection there. You know?
Okay.
No, you're definitely on the right track. Like,
but they are different.
Yeah,
I guess,
they're different. Like, what's the word? Like, Internally.
I'd have to do some research to figure out some timelines, but like knowing that a lot of Kabbalah made its way into alchemy, like I don't think it's impossible that these alchemists are like saw the Golem story and there's like bits and pieces of it in like the homunculus stories. You know?
I see. That makes sense.
Anyway, there's this whole type of alchemy in Arabic during the Arabic Golden Age called Jabirian alchemy that was just focusing on the hunt for, among other things, taquine and trying to make these homunculi.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read this one because it's not word for word, but one set of instructions for creating animal life from nothing found within the Jabirian Kitab al-Tashmi involves finding a vessel shaped like the animal and combining the animal's bodily fluids within it, then placing the vessel at the center of a model of the celestial sphere. So, you know, like, they still thought the
planets and shit.
Earth was the center, like, putting it in the center of, like, a planetarium, basically.
Yeah.
I see.
One of those.
And then you apply heat to it, and you bake it like an easy bake oven, and you'll get a little miniature animal out of the mold.
Hell
That's
yeah.
Cool.
You just
and
bake
again,
at 350 for 45 minutes. It's fine.
Easy.
Little creature.
Again, just like Western alchemy, super unclear if this is supposed to be a metaphor for something, or if it's meant to, like, yes, you could literally create little animal slaves.
It's cool, guys. Just create little animal slaves. You're fine.
So, back in Europe in 1775, Count Johann Ferdinand von Kufstein, together with some Italian cleric, is reputed to have created 10 homunculi with the ability to foresee the future.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Allegedly, he kept these homunculi in glass jars. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you're a fan of Full Metal Alchemist or The Bride of Frankenstein, that should be ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he kept them in a Masonic lodge in Vienna, and that's how the Masons saw the future and, you know, manipulated events.
I see.
Allegedly, these were seen by, like, several people, including visiting dignitaries and local dignitaries, so, like, cool magic trick, something going on? I don't know. Sounds fun.
Sounds like some kind of, like, sideshow situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's this weird sort of, like, alchemist adjacent, homunculus adjacent tradition from Spain called the Animalitos, which I believe is just Spanish for little animals.
Yeah. Animalitos.
So I've never read his stuff, but there's a French writer in the 19th century by the name of Prosper Mérimée. My brother's going to kill me for fucking up the French.
He's going to listen to this. He's going to write a strongly worded letter to you.
Yeah, so while visiting Spain, a friend who was Spanish told him that French sorcerers often came to Spain with these animalitos in tubes.
Okay.
Oh.
So they're like a reed or like a bamboo shoot that's got a cork in one end and is tied shut at the other. Inside lives these little creatures that are allegedly created by the sorcerers. No one knows what they look like for sure, but one writer says that they had lizard heads and dog mouths.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what to make of that one.
Lizard heads
A little
and dog
strange,
mouths.
but okay.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, the whole thing is, like, dog snout and mouth? Or is it, like, lizard nose and then dog mouth?
I refer you back to Prosper, who says no one knows for sure what they look like.
I see.
Fair. Fair.
So the catch is, well, okay, so these things can grant you any wish you have.
Okay.
But that wish only persists as long as you feed them, and their favorite food is the flesh of unbaptized babies.
Oh, wonderful. Obviously. I mean, like, that makes sense. You need a rare material to you know, to offer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, like, how often are you gonna come across a baby's flesh that's been unbaptized?
Yeah.
Tell me that.
Especially in Spain, which has always been super Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, you gotta get that baby quick.
Yeah.
You gotta snatch that baby up quick.
Can't just rely on grave digging or something.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on, man. My immortality will wear off unless I scrape a little bit of your baby's flesh. What?
According, if you don't have any spare unbaptized babies lying around, you can also feed them your own flesh and blood, but you got to carve it off and feed it to them.
That's a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Kind of hardcore.
Yeah.
So
I mean, don't do it, but like that's pretty metal.
It's a cool image. It's a cool image for sure.
It'd be cool to have some like character that's just like, I have a homunculus that gives me incredible strength, but I failed to give him baby flesh, so now I'm one-armed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy says, he gives an example where he's like, I have a friend, Romero the Footman, who he had a lung disease, and he was like, I wish to have my lung disease cured, and he bought an animalito. And now he can run from Valencia to Murcia without breaking a sweat, but his bones show through his skin, and his eyes are sunken, and it's heavily implied that he's being eaten alive or like vampirically trained by his animalito.
Nice.
I see.
Seems like an Are You Afraid of the Dark or a Stephen King story to me.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like it, yeah.
Nice and
man,
spooky.
what was that story? The one where he continued... the Thin or something? The one where he continuously gets skinnier because he's been cursed.
With Jack Black?
No, not that one. It was an older one. But is that that's a Stephen King story, right?
If you say so, I'll believe you.
He besmirches the honor of like a gypsy woman, and she curses him, and he gets skinnier and skinnier because he was like a gluttonous, fat man.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he wasn't really doing anything wrong. He was just eating a lot, and then he bumped into her.
The 2000s were pretty fatphobic.
He was like, and she's like, curse you. And then he was like, oh, and then like he starts getting slimmer, and then everyone's all like, wow, you're losing weight. And he's like, I guess. And then he started getting too skinny, and he's like, oh, I'm going to die. I'm gonna look that up.
Look it up.
Answer.
I mean, I talked about it so much. It's just all like...
Just find out quick, because now I'm curious. Is that based on a Stephen King story? Because if so, that is wild.
I should read more Stephen King.
He's good.
Let's see.
He's got some interesting
yeah,
stories.
it is. It is a 1996 horror movie called Thinner. It is an hour and 33 minutes long.
Jeez, okay.
Billy Halleck is an obese lawyer who accidentally hits a gypsy woman with his car after his wife distracts him. Given Halleck's influence in town and a general prejudice against the gypsies, he manages to brush the incident under the rug with some unethical legal help from his associates. However, the victim's father, Tadzu Lemke, places a curse on the heavy-set man, and he starts to lose weight at an alarming rate, which is then followed by other macabre events.
A film that sounds like it's so super friendly to both overweight people and the Romani.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Stephen King is the number one person to ask to write a story that is nice to certain
I mean, I'll take him over like Tucker Carlson,
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, I do like...
just like,
I do like Stephen King. I like his corgi, too.
Yeah. His corgi's pretty cool.
Any other, homunculus pit stops before we talk about the D&D one?
Let me look up a homunculus real quick.
He's
There's
like,
one
let me
that
pull
I
it
thought
up.
of. Homunculus. What's his name again? Let me see here.
There's Roger from Hellboy. Frankenstein is sometimes referred to as a homunculus.
Sometimes.
There's Flute from Magic the Gathering.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton of homunculi in Magic the Gathering. We've obviously mentioned Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I got nothing currently.
That's cool. We already hit the big ones. So in D&D, this is a tiny, tiny, extremely low CR creature. It's a little gargoyle made of clay, but the spellcaster can make it look like whatever they want. They got a poisonous bite and a telepathic bond with their master, and of course flight, and that's basically it.
I mean, like, according to those, like, I'm gonna pull a weird one. Not a weird one, but like another anime one. There's that character in Naruto. I think their name.
Oh, the bomb guy?
Yeah, the one with the mouth in his hands, and
Yeah.
he uses clay or some kind of molding agent to create little like creatures that would fly and explode.
Now, I believe the alchemist artificer can, at least before 5.2.5 or whatever we're calling it now, could channel spells through its homunculi. So there might be a way that, like, you might be onto something. There might be a way to make your homunculus a living cruise missile.
Hell yeah. That's their name. Deidara.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I was never a Naruto guy, but...
Nah. No. Not a lot of people were. Not a lot of people were.
We all have our own favorite shonen.
Exactly. The Dragon Ball Z. That was my big one. Dragon Ball Z.
My pitch is like, use them as spies for your evil spellcaster.
Yeah.
Have a lich who's just made a ton of them out of boredom. So he has some flyers. Have an evil alchemist who's sending them around to go steal stuff he needs to build a big doomsday weapon. Those are my pitches. What about you guys? How would you use a homunculus?
I don't know. Probably some kind of Pinocchio story situation.
Wow, that'd be fun.
One's like on a mission, like wants a soul or whatever.
Wants to be a real boy. I like that a lot, actually.
Something like that. You know?
Hit him with the twist that he's only been commanded to think that he wants to look for a soul.
Yikes.
Maybe.
And be like, no, impossible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Make like a really like. I'd go goofy. Make it like a really big flat one. Use them like a river raft. You know.
I kind of like that too, because you can make them look like whatever you want. You know, there's a lot of leeway for you as the DM or you as the player character. Like you can get a homunculus as your familiar. You know.
Like a dude with like a chest torso that's like a 4-panel window size, and then it's just like, get in the river and start paddling for me, and then he jumps like face first, and then you ride on his back, and he's just you see like limbs awkwardly.
That feels a lot like what is my purpose?
Your purpose is to get us across the river.
Aw. You got another pitch, Julio?
Maybe I don't know. Do maybe I don't know, a Pinocchio situation, I guess.
I like the Pinocchio idea.
Yeah.
Maybe
the mission is to like you're gathering ingredients to make a homunculus or something.
Yeah. Maybe you got to trade the homunculus ingredients for something you need from an NPC.
Yeah.
A scenario where you meet an alchemist, maybe evil, who knows?
Yeah.
But like a lot of his stuff is automated through homunculi.
Yeah.
Where you run into a weirdly shaped person being that is like cutting trees down. That's like logging in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, that's an interesting plot hook if you see a little freak.
Yeah, that's just like
or a team of little freaks on a tree.
Yeah, with like an axe that's just like whacking away at it. And then as you get closer, there's more little weirdos that are just like flopping and crawling around.
Yeah.
There's a guy who dig ditches, but like he's 4 legs and he's got like a human torso hanging from the center.
Extremely custom built for his job.
That's just digging a hole, and as he gets deeper, the legs will like slowly fold downward to let him get lower.
I remember seeing I think it was on the SciShow actually. They talk about homunculuses, and they talk about them in the sense that they're like a hodgepodge of senses.
Oh, you're talking about I skipped that because it's like a turn of phrase, but the cortical homunculus or somebody.
Cortical homunculus?
Yeah, it's where it's like if you readjusted the size of every organ on the human body based on like how much information about the world we derive from it, how sensitive it is.
Right.
It looks like a freaky monster.
It
But
does.
it's
with,
like huge
big
eyes,
hands.
huge fingers, because we mostly see and touch things, you know.
Yeah, big mouth with a tongue and big eyes.
Because it speaks.
Cortical homunculus.
Cortical homunculus.
Wow.
Built from corticals.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
I think it refers to the part of the brain that like controls all that information, but I'm not positive.
Mm.
Giant hands, giant tongue, horrible stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
But I'm not a neurobiologist or neuroscientist, so I'm not sure how helpful that model is.
It's not very helpful. It feels.
I
like
guess it might be
exists to weird
illustrative,
you
but
out.
as a human, I didn't really need it explained to me how much information I get from my hands and my face.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I'm kind of aware.
I feel like his eyes aren't big enough. He should have big
Yeah.
eyes.
Should be mostly eyes. Anyway, I'm not a brain scientist. I skipped over that because I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
magic enough.
It's not. It's sciencey, but yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Kenkus are raven people, right? But they're not Saracocras, right?
No,
yeah,
no.
it's
They
they're
can't
loosely
fly.
inspired by the Tengu. They can't fly, which is like a big part of their modern lore. Like they want to be able to fly, but their wings and their voices were taken by them, were taken from them as a curse.
I see.
And now they can only, they can't fly and they can only mimic sounds that they've heard, which combined with their penchant, like real crows for stealing things,
Yeah.
means that they have long been known as like the problematic guy at your table would love to play one of these creatures because all it can do is mimic people and steal their stuff.
I see.
I'm sure there's been some good Kenku players out there, but they just have a reputation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see.
And as a monster manual monster, they're just a CR 1/4 monster with ambush and mimicry. Not much to talk about. Just
Not that
another
great.
little, you'll kill 20 of them with your sword on day one.
Right. They're not that
But
cool.
Tengu are cool. You guys know what Tengu are?
Yeah.
Tengu are like the bird demons, right? From
Yeah, exactly.
They're
pretty cool. They have the
demons.
big nose, the long nose, right?
Exactly.
Is that what
The
I'm thinking of?
geeky, kind of phallic, long nose.
Yeah,
They wear them
like the drummer from Slipknot.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
actually, now that you mention it. Was one of the drummers from Slipknot inspired by Tengu, or just...
Maybe he's got
Maybe.
the long nose. I forget his name. Let me look him up. Slipknot.
They definitely wore masks, so.
Slipknot.
I'm not a big Slipknot guy, but I'm a big Slipknot respecter. You know what I mean?
I get
They're
you.
so great.
I get you.
I remember seeing this funny TikTok of like this one dude who he was talking about, dude, Slipknot, they grew up rich, man. And apparently they had they went to a nice high school that had like real grass on their field.
Bro,
We had real grass.
I guess.
Yeah, and we
were
were
we
in-
rich? Did we grow up rich?
No.
we were in LAUSD,
Why do you think
a
we're
famously
doing
overpopulated school
Yeah.
district.
Yeah. Had 35, 40 children to a class.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll always love Slipknot. They're great.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm not a huge I just don't like thrash metal
Right.
that much, but I'm a huge Slipknot respecter. I love theatrics.
Yeah, they're very theatrical and
They got a thing going on, and they're not afraid to wave it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Kenku.
Yeah, Kenku, and by
Kenku.
that we mean Tengu. So yeah,
Tengu.
they're like bird monkey people, more bird people. They live in the mountains.
Mhm.
They got the tall gaita, the Japanese sandals with the raised platform shoes.
Right.
Yeah, that's sometimes 1 or 2 planks that you're standing on.
Yeah.
1 or 2 blocks
They often
of
have
wood.
that ring staff, which you might be familiar with if you've seen Inuyasha.
Yeah, Moroku. He's got that staff going on.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this. I had to look this up, but it's associated with wandering Buddhist monks because it scared. It's basically a bear bell.
Yeah.
It scares
Right.
bears and wild animals away. Lets them know that you're coming.
Repellent.
Yeah, and it's also like
And it's
if you're-
magic.
and it's magic if you're in Inuyasha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most of his magic came from the black hole in his hand, but
Yeah, which fucking OP.
He's
Right?
he's pretty strong.
I mean, it
guy,
makes
yeah.
him feel bad and could consume him one day. But
Also, controversial tank. I never liked the horny character in anime. It's always uncomfortable.
the which one?
The horny character.
Oh yeah. That was all him.
Yeah,
It was
funny because
Brock,
he was the again a wandering monk who's like,
Yeah.
I have absolved myself of all horniness, but I didn't.
Brock was the horny character, wasn't he? He loved everybody.
Brock was
He
the
loved-
horny character, yeah.
He
He
loved
was as horny as they could make him for a kid's show.
Yeah,
Pretty horny
He
for a
loved
kid
all
show,
the adult, beautiful women that he ran across.
Yeah.
He was like,
How old was Brock?
he was like 14. He was like a little bit older than Ash and Misty.
He had a family to take care of. Was he 14?
Yeah, he was
He-
like
he-
15. His dad
had
abandoned
si-
them. And then
he
he
had
was just
siblings.
all like, he was the oldest of his brothers. And like, that's why he got all the cooking expertise and all that handyman stuff. And then like he goes on an adventure with like a freshly out of the house like 11-year-old, and
Oh, I
like
just googled it. You're fucking right. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I feel so old.
yeah, he's 14, dog.
And he abandoned his family? God.
No,
Cycles of
his
violence.
dad abandoned his family.
No, but then he goes with Ash.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he goes
that's
in-
because they fucking guilt tripped his dad back into being a family man. At the end
Yeah.
of that,
Okay.
at the end of that arc, like they have a gym battle, and then his dad was watching, and he's just all like, "You get out of here. We don't want you." It's all like, "Just kidding. We want you here." And he's like, "Okay, you go on an adventure with your new friends because I've been a shitty dad." And he's all like, "Thanks, shitty dad. That's now doing his best to repent." And then he goes on an adventure with a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. And he goes around being all like, "Hey, older woman that is like 25, how would you like to go out with me?" And
Not my
she's-
favorite trope. Not my favorite trope.
And she's all like, "I'm not, no." I think he's been arrested a few times. No, he can't be arrested. Maybe like slap on the wrist.
yeah.
Officer Jenny probably would have wanted to arrest him at one point.
Yeah. One of the Jennies for sure.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Anyway, Tengu. Because they're brood spirits, they often have control over the wind, which is why they're often given war fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they
war
also
fan.
dress like Yamabushi, which is a term for like mountain aesthetics. So like monks who go up into the mountain to like live, away from everything to become more spiritually powerful.
The Tengu's all like, "Bro, I'm totally about that mountain aesthetic right now."
Yeah.
Yamabuchi?
Yamabushi with a B and a sh.
Shh.
And then another Tengu is just like, "Yeah, but I'm more like postmodern. I've been looking into like, like pixie pop, maybe a little bit of like I'm kind of vibing with like Fruitiger Metro right now, but I mean, you do you with your mountain aesthetic, your Yamabuchi."
Let's see. In the oh god,
I'm very Memphis.
Konjaku Monogatari, a collection of stories published from the late Heian period, which is like early, like Japan was just Heian period. Sorry, Japan was just figuring out art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tengu are like opponents of Buddhists specifically.
Oh.
And they're always trying to kidnap Buddhist monks or use clever illusions to lead them off cliffs. Sometimes they will possess women in an attempt to get Buddhist monks to relinquish their vows of celibacy.
Uh-huh.
They also like just rob temples, which seems like the easiest thing on this list to do.
Oh yeah. I mean, unless those Buddhists are like level 10 monks.
Yeah.
Or at least level 6, because it's just like you're getting hit with like 4 attacks. So
Yeah. Sometimes Tengu were ghosts. They weren't just like yokai. A 12th century emperor, Hogan Monogatari, tells the story of Emperor Sutoku, who was forced by his father to abandon the throne. And then later there was this thing called the Hogan Rebellion. Long story short, the emperor was defeated. He vowed to like forever haunt the lands of Japan as a
Sick.
great demon, and he came back as a very big and powerful Tengu.
that's pretty sick. You gotta give the man props. He stuck to his word.
Yeah, he's still out there haunting the mountain pass.
Wow.
He's all like, "My hatred is so powerful, I will come back as a super demon."
Yeah,
And he haunted a road for all eternity.
yeah. A mountain. They're mountain spirits.
Mountain spirit.
Right. Mountain spirit.
A mountain road.
When
you said Hogan,
were you thinking Hulk Hogan? Because I was too.
No, I held myself back, and I'm proud of it, but I gotta let it out, just to let you know.
Let it rip, brother.
I was gonna be like Hogan Hirosu, and I was like, you mean the popular 1980s television show?
That's the one. Turns out these yokai love it.
It turns out these yokai, they made it. They were all about it.
Yeah.
Hogan's Heroes.
Starting in the 13th century, we start to get stories of Tengu that sound like alien abductions.
Oh, sick.
Oh,
They
really?
attack travelers, especially priests, who are wandering through lonely mountain paths. And when they are returned, they would often be found like mysteriously tied to the tops of trees and stuff like that, or like places they couldn't have got to on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Or they were like in a state of near death, or they were like totally out of their gourds. And sometimes they reported having been tricked into eating animal poo.
No. The
That's
Tengu
gross.
made me do it.
The Tengu made me do
Those
it.
dang Tengu.
If we were
Tengu.
to be Jack Valayan, we would point at that and say, paleo abduction, early abduction stories. Tengu are aliens. Aliens are Tengu.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's what it be.
It's
Yeah.
just that the alien that came down just was a little bird-like.
Yeah.
According to some people, Tengu are the ghosts of bad Buddhist monks. Because, they're still monks, so they can't go to hell, but they weren't good enough to go to heaven, so they gotta haunt the world as Tengu.
Okay.
That's kind of sick. I mean, like, if you were, devoting your life to, like, this religious purpose, and then, like, having one bad day, like, at least it's enough to be like, well, you have a certification to not be in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you show up, and it's like, whoa.
Partial credit,
Yeah.
like on a math test when you show your work, but you fuck up.
The guy at the not-so-pearly gates is like, hold on there. And he's like, what? And he taps on his, like, he taps on his shoulder, and it's just like, what? It's like a paper that says, can't go to hell.
I got the get out of jail free card.
Or it's like Buddhist certified. It's like, sorry, we can't send you here. It's like, but I kind of fucked up in my religion. It's like, well,
I know enough sutras to keep me out of hell, but not enough to...
It's just like, best we can do is just send you back to the Earth's surface so that you're a haunting spirit that wanders for eternity.
Enjoy being a wind demon that tricks people into eating poo.
He's like, all right, I'll take it. Here you go. And then he hits him with, like, his little trident or whatever weapon they hold in Japan. Hell.
Swords, spears, war fans. We'll get to the swords and spears in a second.
Yeah, they tapped him with a
Big comedy fan.
Yeah, hit him with a big comedy fan or like
a la Super Smash Bros. Or Takeshi's Castle.
That'd be funny.
And then he transforms into a bird demon and gets sent back to their surface. He's like, here's that place where that one Tengu made me eat that poo, and now I can make someone eat this poo.
Yep.
Awesome.
The cycle continues.
The cycle continues. There
This
should be
has
one to
become a
break
very
it.
scatological episode, which I didn't foresee when I was writing it.
I mean,
it's par for the course, I guess.
Yeah, we're dealing with weird folklore. We'll get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna come across the story once in a while where someone is forced to interact with feces,
Yep.
whether they want to or not.
Right, so Tengu are also supposed to be like masters of the martial arts, and you can go up into the mountains and learn martial arts from the Tengu and just be the best at it.
That's cool.
If they want to teach you.
Yeah, if they want to teach you. So allegedly how this story gets rolling is there was a little guy by the name of Yoshitsune. At the time, he was a member of the Taira clan, and his dad was assassinated by a rival clan. And so, like, the clan that came in and, like, took over their lands was like, this is a young boy. I feel he should rightfully rule these lands. I feel bad about killing him. Let's send him into exile in the mountains instead, where he can go be a Buddhist monk on Mount Karama.
Okay.
I feel too bad about killing him.
But he goes to train with the Tengu.
One day while wandering the mountains of the Sojo Gadani Valley, our boy encountered a mountain Tengu by the name of Sojobo.
The good old mountain tango. Just you and hiking on one trail.
Yeah. So the Tengu was like, I see you have lots of vengeance. Let's do something with that, because I like to cause problems.
And the biggest problem I'm going to make is making you a martial arts master.
And he did. Cue the training montage, and this boy becomes a master swordsman, and then he can use his Rurouni Kenshin samurai skills to go kill all the people that killed his family.
That's amazing.
In a classic martial arts story.
Sick.
Right.
Complete with training on a mysterious supernatural master on the mountainside, meditating under waterfalls, all that stuff.
That's cool.
You think at the end of it, where he's just all like, your final test is to defeat me.
Yeah, maybe.
And he's like, how can I defeat you, master? You are a ghost. If not a super demon.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, then like land a hit on me.
First blood.
Yeah, we'll run first blood rules. I can hit you as much as I want, but if you make me bleed once, we're fine.
Anyway, that clan was in charge for several hundred more years, so it's thought that this was like the justification story for why they were in charge.
I see.
The reason why
they were backed by the Tengu.
Yeah. Reason why this badass motherfucker came in is just like, I've been taught by a bird demon, let's go. And he cut down each and every one of them with cool flashy lines of light, and then they go, and then blood went.
Yeah.
It was like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
I was going to say like a 90s anime, but same diff.
Not even that, even further back. The samurai movies by
Akira.
Who?
What was his name?
Kurosawa. The Kurosawa samurai movies.
Yeah, it was like those. It was just like that.
Fun fact.
Hey, when are they gonna do fucking Seven Samurai but Star Wars? All right.
That'd be cool.
So they've done Seven Samurai. They remade it as a Western, which is Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Star Wars is already cowboys and samurai in space. It's begging for it. All right.
It would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think I would rather prefer it to just be sci-fi, but okay, this is just my opinion. Might be a hot take. I think like current directors' vision of sci-fi is just so generic that I'm afraid that if anyone was asked to do a sci-fi film, it'd be a little hard to.
You know what? That's
to
fair.
be interested in it. I mean, like, it's. I mean, come on. All I expect whenever I hear sci-fi for today, and this is like going on a tangent, is just like, I'm gonna expect shiny shit that's a little bit too like color graded downwards or like muddied. So it's like it's gonna be bright orange, but it's got that tinge of gray that's just like not interesting. And then everything is either going to be like inconsistently curved or like consistently hard edged, and it's just like I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about how much trouble we're having imagining the future right now.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like our technology has like caught up to so many of the concepts that we like think was super cool and futuristic that it's
I also like this is a sadder, darker topic, but I also think technology is not fun anymore.
No,
it doesn't feel fun anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like every time a new technological thing comes out, I'm not like, this will make my life easier. I'm like, well, how is this going to be used to hurt people?
Yeah.
There's that. And like I think the only thing that's ever been like consistently fun for me that has like that a company has been putting out is just any of the Boston Dynamic videos.
I do not. I really don't like the guns on the robot dogs.
I mean, that's not them. I don't think. I mean, they're using their.
Are you telling
me
that nobody at Boston Dynamics knows that that's what the military is going to do with their orders of the robot dogs?
Of course. They're going to make the cool little spot guy who's like built to open doors or lift a tool bag for you.
Yeah, that was a few months ago. Did you see the robot dog with a gun that was used in an arrest?
No, yeah.
Opened the door. Chilling. But
I mean, like, he didn't have a gun, but, like, they had another robot that was on, like, treads with a gun, I think.
yeah.
But, I mean, he was just there to try to open the door from the guy. But, like...
I was hoping to be more like BattleBots, where it's, like, the boss
I do love BattleBots.
BattleBots is cool. But because it's so remote-controlled, and they got a lot of wheels, and they put, like, an ice pick on top of one.
I was gonna be like, how do we end this story with an upper?
But I'm just saying, like,
BattleBots is a good. What's your favorite BattleBot?
Hold on. I'm just saying. Let me just finish out my Boston Dynamics thought. It's because they take their robots and like they make them do backflips and like do funny like front flips, and that really makes me smile for like robot future. But I do know someone's gonna like America is gonna grab them, and it's all like, what if we put this gun in its hand? It's all like, I understand, that's dope, like from an American standpoint. But let him just do parkour and like pretend he hurt his balls when he fell.
What if it's like what if the Boston Dynamics turns into like Combat from Tekken 4?
That'd be sick. Yeah, if he was used to teach martial arts, that would be cool.
That'd be funny. Anyway,
my favorite BattleBot, I don't know his name, but it's the one that like it's the one that had the spinning like piece of like bar on top of its head.
Yeah.
It was a flat like ramp, right? Because everybody had like a meta build for that game. Like after a while, like the first one was like cool out of this world. Like, what the fuck are you doing with this piece of metal kind of thing? But then everyone gained this, like, I got a meta design to win this game. And it's like, let's build a ramp so that robots will roll up into the kill machine that's on top of it. So it was a ramp with a box that held the body. It was on 4 wheels. And on top of it, they slapped, like, a fucking lawnmower motor. And then instead of a blade, they just put, like, a heavy steel bar that spun really fast. So robots would drive into it, and then, like, all of their pieces get torn off from, like, high kinetic energy. It's like getting hit with a sledgehammer both ways.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
I like Ziggo, which was, like, one of the early spinning ones, and it just, like, it really tore shit up.
Yeah.
That was great. I like the one that had like a scorpion like singer that would just it was like a can opener.
Oh shit, yeah.
That's pretty dope.
That guy was cool.
BattleBots is still happening, and I've tuned in a couple times. The magic's just not there anymore because of all I guess because of how the meta's changed, to Ryan's point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll go live. I'll see it live because it's in Vegas.
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Maybe we'll visit and we'll see a BattleBots and the magic will be rekindled.
Maybe. Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you, Ryan.
Are you okay, buddy? You just went through like 6 stages of puberty right now.
I'm fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little tired.
We're all a little eepy here.
I've had a long day.
I've been in arm over the back of my chair rest position for a majority.
I just got a haircut.
Oh! If you can see on my camera, I also need a haircut. And a shave.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But thank you, guys. This is a fun one. Thank you. Thank you for listening, listener.
Thank you, Jesse Sanders, for our music.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse.
Thank you. Mean to get you onto the show.
Yeah,
we'll have you back someday.
He's busy. He's a busy man. We understand.
He's a busy man. He's making cool music for things.
A lot of stuff going on, you know.
Yeah, but, we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Thank you. Send us an email if you want. Donate if you can. We appreciate it.
We have a coffee. There is a link in the linkables.
Link in the link tree.
Around.
Go ahead, buy some merch if you want. We'd appreciate it. We'd really appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.